My name is Brooke Rutledge, and at 33 years old, I spent every dollar I had on something everyone else thought was worthless: a rundown gas station on an abandoned highway. The day I signed the papers, my family looked at me as if I had finally proven every bad thing they had ever said about me. My mother shook her head, my brother laughed, and my father didn't even look me in the eye. What none of them knew was that 7 days later, I would discover a hidden steel door buried behind a wall inside that forgotten building. And what waited behind that door wouldn't just change my future, it would expose a secret my family had spent generations hiding. Before we begin, welcome to Skyhope, the place where ordinary people find extraordinary strength. If you enjoy inspiring stories filled with justice, resilience, and unexpected twists, subscribe and let us know where you're watching from. For most of my life, I was known as the disappointment of the Rutledge family. My father, Garrett Rutledge, was one of the most respected businessmen in town. My brother Wade worked beside him and was expected to inherit everything, and I was the daughter nobody bragged about. Years earlier, I had worked as a bookkeeper for the family company until a business dispute destroyed my reputation. Rather than fight publicly, I walked away and started over on my own. It wasn't easy. I lost clients, I lost income, and eventually, I lost almost everything. Then, one afternoon, a local property investor told me about an abandoned gas station sitting on the edge of town. Nobody wanted it. The building had been empty for decades. The roof leaked, the windows were broken, and the asking price was just low enough for me to afford it. After researching the title records and property history, I made the biggest gamble of my life and bought it. The entire town thought I was crazy, but for the first time in years, I owned something that belonged completely to me. A week later, while cleaning out the back storage room, I noticed something strange. One wall sounded hollow. At first, I assumed it was an old maintenance space, but the more I looked, the less sense it made. There was a draft coming from underneath the paneling, almost as if the building itself was hiding a secret. The next day, curiosity got the better of me. I removed several panels and discovered a concrete wall with a heavy steel door, set into it the kind of door you would expect to find in an old vault. My heart started racing. Who would hide a vault inside an abandoned gas station? And more importantly, what was inside? After carefully documenting everything, I managed to open the rusted mechanism. The door swung inward, revealing a staircase disappearing into darkness. I grabbed a flashlight and headed down. At the bottom was a sealed underground cellar, untouched for nearly a century. Rows of wooden shelves lined the room, and crates covered in dust sat exactly where they had been left decades earlier. Inside those crates were hundreds of antique bottles preserved in remarkable condition. I immediately realized I might be looking at something historically significant. Instead of telling anyone, I researched, photographed everything, and contacted experts. Within days, I learned the truth. The collection could be worth over $1 million. But the real discovery wasn't the bottles, it was the paperwork. Hidden inside an old lockbox were original documents connected to the property's history, documents that revealed how my grandfather first acquired the land generations ago. The story my family had proudly repeated for years wasn't entirely true. The records told a very different version of events, and suddenly, I understood why certain people were becoming very interested in my abandoned gas station. My father began asking questions, my brother started making offers, and people who had mocked me only weeks earlier suddenly wanted to become partners. But by then, the property legally belonged to me. Every document, every record, every signature proved it. As the annual town celebration approached, pressure from my family intensified. They wanted control of the discovery, control of the story, and most of all, control of me. What happened next would become one of the most talked about moments our town had ever seen. Standing before hundreds of people at a public event, I calmly shared the truth supported by official records. No shouting, no arguments, just facts. For the first time in my life, I wasn't defending myself. I was simply telling the truth. And when the room realized the evidence was real, everything changed. The discovery eventually went to public auction. The collection sold for more than $1.3 million. The abandoned station was restored, the hidden history was preserved, and the building everyone called a mistake became the foundation of a brand new future. But the greatest victory wasn't financial, it was personal. For years, I had allowed other people to decide my value. The moment I stopped asking for permission to believe in myself, everything changed. Sometimes the opportunity everyone laughs at becomes the opportunity that transforms your life. Sometimes the door everyone tells you to ignore is the one worth opening. And sometimes the people who doubt you the most become the reason you keep moving forward. Thank you for spending time with us here on Skyhope. If this story inspired you, leave a comment and tell us what part resonated with you most. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs a reminder that their worth isn't determined by anyone else's opinion. We'll see you in the next story. Jay.